I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop it. You know what? You are sick.
My daughter is beautiful, Ivanka.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of.
If someone said that my daughter was a hot piece of ass, I would put my fist through his face.
She's one of the great beauties of the world, according to everybody, and I helped create her.
Who?
Ivanka. My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
Tick-tock, Donald. Donald Trump's dark past continues to surface, and he is in panic mode. 2 more weeks, Donald, and by law, the Epstein files need to be released. But we know you're going to try to block it. We know what you're going to do. Donald Trump's dark past continues to surface, and even right-wing podcasters sympathetic to Donald Trump are saying, look, this guy's engaged in war crimes off the coast of Venezuela to try to distract from his dark past, distract from the release of the Epstein files, distract from his ghoulish connections to other men involved in these pedo rings.
Ivanka goes nuts after Howard Stern exposes her secret affairs with Trump on live TV. And if you clicked on that expecting to see Ivanka having a public meltdown, confronting her father, or releasing some explosive statement, I've got news for you. That headline is completely false. Ivanka didn't go nuts. In fact, Ivanka didn't say anything at all. And honestly, that silence might be the most disturbing part of this entire story.
But Donald, do you worry because you have a daughter who's a model?
I do, and I have a deal with her. She's just 17, and she's doing great, Ivanka, and she made me promise her, swear to her, that I would never date a girl younger than her. So, as she grows, Howard, as she grows older,
Right.
the field is getting very limited severely, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the nerve of her. Now you can't go out with 16-year-olds.
Marjorie Taylor Greene just called Donald Trump out with a great deal of clarity, and she described how Donald Trump called her, furiously berating her before they had a falling out. She wanted to release the files, and she thought Donald Trump was going to want to release them too. But Donald Trump said, "Don't you dare, Marjorie. You're going to hurt people. You're going to cause pain and suffering to people," to which he meant his rich and powerful male friends whose names are mentioned in the Epstein files, and to himself.
Let me walk you through what actually happened, because the truth here is way more unsettling than any clickbait could capture. If you're interested in getting the real story behind sensational headlines, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We're all about accountability journalism that separates fact from fiction. Between 1993 and 2015, Donald Trump was a regular guest on The Howard Stern Show. And during those appearances, spanning 17 years, Trump said things about his own daughter, Ivanka, that would make any normal person's skin crawl.
You know about sexual predators and things like that. I mean,
You are one.
All right, I was going to say that, but it's true. You know about sexual predators and things like that. I mean,
You are one.
All right, I was going to say that, but it's true.
A lot of attention is rightfully spent talking about Donald Trump's connections with Epstein. But there's also Donald Trump's connections with other rich, powerful men who are involved in these child sex trafficking rings. For example, John Casablancas. That name sound familiar? John Casablancas died in like 2013, but he was accused of sexually assaulting children, impregnating children, marrying children, raping children. He is the worst of the worst scum of the earth. He died in 2013, and he ran elite model management.
These weren't isolated comments. This was a pattern. And in October 2016, right as Trump was running for president, CNN's investigative team went through hours and hours of audio and exposed just how disturbing this pattern really was. On September 2004, when Ivanka was 23 years old, Trump appeared on Stern's show. They're talking about Ivanka, and Stern asks, "Your daughter? Can I say this? A piece of ass?" And Trump's response, "Yeah, That's it. Just, yeah.
She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
If I weren't happily married and, you know, her father.
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
It's
She's tall.
unbelievable.
She's almost 6 feet.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
A close friend of Donald Trump, a guy by the name of Gerald Marie. He was one of the most powerful men in fashion, and he ran Elite and other major agencies, and he hung out with people like Donald Trump and Casablancas. And that 1991 Look of the Year annual international modeling contest in New York that Trump was a part of, you had Gerald Marie, you had John Casablancas, you had Donald Trump, the crew. Epstein was there as well, but these were the friends. This was the crew. They were all friends with each other. And listen to how it was described. In 1991, the couple were among the celebrity guests at the final Look of the Year, Elite's annual modeling contest. And then it talks about how you had, while Marie sat with fellow judges, Casablancas and Donald Trump in the audience, he was, this girl said, he wanted to control me completely. And she accused Gerald Marie of sexual assault.
He did add that Stern would be the last person I would introduce her to, but he didn't object to his daughter being called a piece of ass by a shock jock on national radio. But it gets worse. In October 2006, Stern's talking to Trump again and asks if Ivanka got breast implants. Trump doesn't shut down the conversation. He doesn't say that's inappropriate or I'm not discussing my daughter's body. Instead, he engages. No, she didn't. I mean, I would know if she did, Trump says. Then he continues.
This is a guy who, when he was on Howard Stern, this is not new information. He was on Howard Stern before he ever descended from the escalator. And Howard Stern asked him, what is your age cutoff? And he said 12. This is on video. He said he would go as young as 12, but below 12 was too young. He said that if Ivanka wasn't his daughter, he'd fuck her. He said that when he owned the Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, he would go into the dressing rooms where underage girls were changing clothes and he could inspect them because he owned the pageant. So none of this is new.
And you're probably, I would say, the greatest judge of beauty on this planet. In fact, I would create a TV show for you where all you did was just judge women.
Now, that may be the best idea of all.
It's a simple thing. It's a half hour, and we strip it out all over the country.
I would say I'm the all-time judge.
I'm going to show you some of that footage that the Midas Touch dug up then, but here's a story that doesn't get enough attention right now. Have you even heard this one where a 17-year-old girl naked at a Trump party in 2008 advertising Trump vodka naked underage, and then Trump blamed her and said she was just seeking attention?
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall, she's almost 6 feet tall, and she's an amazing beauty. Let that sink in. A father discussing his daughter's breast size on national radio, calling her voluptuous, speculating about whether she's had cosmetic surgery. This isn't normal. This isn't how fathers talk about their daughters. And before you think this was just awkward radio banter, understand that this pattern goes back decades.
Ivanka Trump, most beautiful girl in the world. You know, I would marry her. These types of things, most people, certainly politicians, don't.
My daughter is beautiful, Ivanka.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, I go out with somebody, and she's like 21, and she's talking about, what are you doing? And she's studying algebra. And,
so what?
And it's like, it was always embarrassing for me to walk in. It's too young. 30 is like a perfect age.
Absolutely. She has enough life experience.
Until she's 35.
Too much life experience.
What is it at 35, Howard? It's called checkout time.
Trump flaunts teen girl for vodka party back in 2008. Donald Trump and his vodka line could be in hot water after pics surfaced of a 17-year-old girl naked except for body paint, serving drinks at the 944 magazine Super Bowl party for the vodka. Here you see her driver's license. You'll see that at the time she was 17 years old. Those photos were obtained by a website called thedirty.com. The underage girl's name was Chanel Elaine Hallett, and she was seen working as a hostess, totally nude except for a little paint.
In 1997, when Ivanka was 16 years old, let me repeat that, 16, Trump was at the Miss Teen USA pageant watching his teenage daughter host the event. He turned to Miss Universe and asked, "Don't you think my daughter's hot? She's hot, right?" His daughter was a minor, a child, and he's asking pageant contestants if they think she's hot. If you're finding this information valuable and want to support journalism that holds powerful people accountable, hit that like button and drop a comment letting me know what you think about this story.
Fathered a daughter about that.
Well, he recognizes it was crude language. He was embarrassed that he had said those things, and he apologized. This is, that's not language consistent with any conversation I've ever had with him, certainly, or any conversation that I've overheard.
And while we have to talk about Donald Trump, he's a big character in the book because
he's a big character on my show.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You say one of your best guests ever.
Donald Trump, hands down, whenever you put him on the air, now this is before he was running for president, he was an open book. He would say anything. And, oddly enough, during the campaign and even now, people quote these interviews that I did with him. Big time. I was quite surprised when they dragged out every single Donald Trump.
We know that Donald Trump lies about everything. Could we talk about that 1991 Look of the Year competition with Casablancas, with Gerald Marie? I mean, sickos. Epstein, Donald Trump. Just take a look at the images of the underage girls. The elite model management said it was girls 14 to 29. But when The Guardian did their investigation, they found the ages were really 14 to 19, the oldest being 19, but most of them being 14, 15-year-old girls. You see, they're little girls, right? And these are the types of girls that Casablancas preyed on. This is what Casablancas did.
In 2003, Trump told Stern, "You know who's one of the great beauties of the world according to everybody? And I helped create her, Ivanka." That phrase, "I helped create her," in the context of discussing her as a great beauty, is deeply unsettling. Then there's the infamous 2006 appearance on The View, where Trump sat next to Ivanka and said, "If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her."
Do you know of anybody?
Oh, no.
That gets away with this kind of stuff, nor a person. What's so disturbing for me is they say now he has like 35%, which is way too high approval.
Way.
These 35% of Americans celebrate the villain. They just celebrate this horrific person, and that's so devastating.
You own this pageant, you go over, you're meeting the girls and stuff. One of them comes up to you and says, "Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man." Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
"I want to sleep with you." Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
Well,
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
Take a look right here at some of the underage girls. Look right here. You see them in this photo. These are what the underage girls looked like when they were doing the beauty pageant in front of Donald Trump. I mean, again, you see the look of the year on their pink shirts. These were girls. These were little girls. And Donald Trump, as an adult male, like at that time, what was he, in his late 40s or 50s, would look at these little girls, look up and down their bodies, and rate them, and then have after parties with them. What do you think he was doing at the after parties?
The hosts had mixed reactions. Some laughed nervously, one smacked his knee, another said, "That's so weird." But the comment was out there, on national television, with his daughter sitting right next to him. Howard Stern himself has talked about these interviews multiple times since Trump became president. In May 2019, Stern appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and discussed Trump as a guest.
And has said he is not sexist. Earlier, her Twitter account showed a little heart liking an article about her father's decade-old comments to Howard Stern. The Trump campaign directed us to Ivanka's brand manager, and a source there tells us it wasn't Ivanka who personally liked the item. It was, quote, a simple mistake by a staff member.
Now, who says that? Most people, if they're having that thought, keep that pretty guarded. Not Donald. He was right into it.
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with it.
This is Donald Trump judging that 1991 Look of the Year competition, the elite model management that Casablancas ran. And you'll see the judges, Casablancas, Gerald Marie. Watch Donald Trump here play this clip.
The 58 contestants participated in an exhaustive round of personal interviews designed to help our judges discover what makes each one special.
Your 5-9 reading? Serious, huh? We may measure again tonight before the Okay. Thank you very much, Amy.
The concentration was intense inside the judging room.
I don't like you as you are.
And out.
I'm just so excited.
Each girl was considered not only for her beauty and poise, but also for her personality and that indefinable
something extra that makes a top model.
Okay, you want to pull your hair back 1 second? Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ingrid. Good luck for tonight.
Thank you.
When it came time to choose the 21 finalists, emotions ran high as each judge expressed his or her opinion.
As if her father hadn't spent decades telling the world how attractive he finds her, how he'd date her if he could, how voluptuous she is. Howard Stern did expose Trump. He exposed a pattern of sexualizing his own daughter that spans from when she was a teenager to the present day. He exposed a man who sees women, including his own daughter, primarily through a sexual lens. But the real exposure here isn't just about what Trump said. It's about what Ivanka's silence reveals, about the lengths people will go to protect power and privilege.
He was right into it. Ivanka Trump.
You know who's one of the great beauties of the world, according to everybody, and I helped create her? Who? Ivanka.
Most beautiful girl in the world. I would marry her. These types of things.
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And,
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
He had a good education. He's got all these young chicks. I don't know how young, but he's got all these young chicks. And he just keeps trading them in on younger chicks. And he's got all this money, and he's famous, and still he's such a so horrible and so mean.
Trump is seen speaking in footage from the 1991 Look of the Year. You'll see him, he's by the yacht. That's going to be important in a moment. Let me explain why, but let me play for you Trump by the yacht. Here, play this clip.
The Look of the Year contest is the ultimate contest for women that want to go all the way in the modeling business.
Featuring 58 of the world's most beautiful young...
An undisputed fact. Undisputed, okay? That little girls would show up at New York and be forced to dance in front of Donald Trump, barely wearing any clothing.
That's what really happened. No explosive confrontation, no dramatic response. Just uncomfortable truth and years of calculated silence. If you appreciate this kind of fact-based accountability journalism, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an investigation. Because the truth matters, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.